Toss and turn, verb. Be unable to sleep properly. He tossed and turned the night before presenting his research findings. Toss sth away, into, on, etc., verb. To throw something somewhere carelessly. The lab assistant tossed the broken pipette into the bin. Totalitarian, adjective. Belonging to a political system in which the people in power have complete control and do not allow anyone to oppose them. The study compared scientific research under democratic and totalitarian regimes. Touch, small detail, a noun. A small detail that makes something better. The scientist added a touch of dye to visualize the reaction. Touch and go, idiom, countable noun. Used to describe a situation that is uncertain. It was touch and go whether the reaction would succeed under the new conditions. Touch and go, idiom. Used to describe a situation that is uncertain. It was touch and go whether the experiment would yield results. Tough, severe, adjective. Tough rules are severe. Tough regulations govern the handling of hazardous materials. Tough, strong, adjective. Not easy to break or damage. Tough polymer containers were used to store the chemicals safely. Tough, unfair, adjective. Unfair or unlucky. It was tough on the team to lose funding despite their successful results. Toughness, noun. The quality or state of being tough. The toughness of the new alloy was tested under extreme conditions. Track, development, noun. The direction in which someone's job or education develops. The scientist's career track focused on renewable energy research. Track, follow, verb. To follow a person or animal by looking for proof that they have been somewhere, or by using electronic equipment. Scientists track the movements of migratory birds using GPS devices. Track, record, verb. To record the progress or development of something over a period. The lab tracked the growth rate of bacteria over several days. Track down sbsth or track sbsth down, verb. To find someone or something after looking for them in a lot of different places. The archaeologist tracked down rare fossils in remote caves. Tractor, noun. A strong vehicle with large back wheels used on farms for pulling things. The farmer used a tractor to till the soil before planting crops. Trader, noun. A person who buys and sells things. The commodity trader specialized in rare minerals. Traffic, planes and ships, noun. The planes or ships moving around an area. Air traffic over the region increased significantly during the scientific conference. Tragically, adverb. In a way that is very sad. Tragically, the endangered species went extinct despite conservation efforts. Trail, lower score, a verb. To have a lower score than someone else, especially in a sports event. The team trailed in the competition but continued to work hard in the lab challenges. Trail, marks, noun. The smell or series of marks left by a person, animal or thing as it moves along. The wolf left a trail of paw prints across the snow. Trail after, behind, along, etc., verb. To walk slowly and without enthusiasm or energy. The exhausted field researchers trailed behind the main group. Train of thought, noun. A series of connected thoughts or ideas which come or happen one after the other. The professor lost his train of thought during the lecture on quantum mechanics. Train of thought, phrase. A series of connected thoughts or ideas which come or happen one after the other. He lost his train of thought while presenting his research findings. Trait, noun. A quality, good or bad, in someone's character. Curiosity is a trait common among successful scientists. Tranquility, noun. The quality of being tranquil. The research station offered tranquility, ideal for focus study. Transition, noun. When something changes from one system or method to another, often gradually. The transition from classical to quantum physics required new experimental techniques. Translate, cause, verb. If an idea or plan translates into an action, it makes it happen. The theory translated into a practical experiment in the laboratory. Transmission, broadcast, noun. The process of broadcasting something by radio, television, etc., or something which is broadcast. The lecture was available via live transmission to universities worldwide. Transmission, spreading, noun. The process of passing something from one person or place to another. The transmission of the virus was slowed by public health measures. Transmit, spread, the verb. To pass something from one person or place to another. The sensor transmits data from the field to the central lab. Transplant, noun. An operation in which a new organ is put into someone's body. The patient received a heart transplant successfully. Trash, a noun. Something that is of low quality. The report was dismissed as trash due to numerous inaccuracies. Trauma, noun. Severe shock caused by an unpleasant experience, or the experience which causes this feeling. The survivors of the chemical accident suffered psychological trauma. Traumatic, adjective. If an experience is traumatic, it makes you feel very shocked and upset. Witnessing the lab explosion was traumatic for the students. Tread, verb. To put your foot on something or to press something down with your foot. The technician carefully treaded over the wet samples to avoid contamination. Treasure, valuable object, noun. A very valuable object. The ancient manuscript was a national treasure. Treasure, verb. If you treasure something, it is very important to you and gives you a lot of pleasure. She treasured the first specimens she collected in her research career. Treat, noun. Something special which you buy or do for someone else or for yourself. After a successful experiment, the team enjoyed a small treat. Treaty, a noun. A written agreement between two or more countries. The country signed a treaty to collaborate on environmental research. Trial and error. A way of learning the best way to do something by trying different methods. The chemist used trial and error to find the optimal concentration of reagents. Trial and error, noun. A way of learning the best way to do something by trying different methods. The scientist used trial and error to optimize the reaction conditions. Tribal, adjective. Relating to a tribe. Tribal communities participated in the ethnobotanical study. Tribute, noun. Something which you do or say to show that you respect and admire someone, especially in a formal situation. The conference included a tribute to the pioneering scientist. Trilogy, a noun. A series of 3 books, plays, films, etc. with the same characters or subject. The chemistry trilogy included volumes on inorganic, organic, and physical chemistry. Trio, or noun. A group of 3 things or people, especially 3 musicians who play together. The research trio collaborated on the climate modeling project. Triumph, feeling, noun. The feeling of happiness that you have when you win something or succeed. The team felt triumph after publishing their groundbreaking study. Troops, noun. Soldiers on duty in a large group. Troops were deployed to secure the research site during the field study. Trouble, not working, noun. A problem that you have with a machine or part of your body. The centrifuge gave trouble during the sample preparation. Troublesome, adjective. Causing a lot of problems, especially over a long period of time. The persistent software bug was troublesome for the research team. Trudge along through up etc. verb. To walk slowly with heavy steps, especially because you are tired. The researchers trudged through the snow to reach the observation post. True, sincere, adjective. Sincere or loyal, and likely to continue to be so even in a difficult situation. She remained a true supporter of ethical research practices. Truth, true fact, noun. A fact or idea that people accept is true. The truth about climate change is supported by extensive evidence. Try, law, verb. To examine facts in a court of law to decide if someone is guilty of a crime. The court tried the scientist for alleged data manipulation. Turbulent, adjective. A turbulent situation, time, etc. is one in which there are a lot of sudden changes, arguments, or violence. The company experienced a turbulent period during the funding crisis. Turmoil, noun. A situation in which there is a lot of trouble, confusion, or noise. Political turmoil delayed the field research project. Turn of events. The way in which a situation develops, especially a sudden or unexpected change. A turn of events in the experiment led to unexpected positive results. Turn of events and noun. The way in which a situation develops, especially a sudden or unexpected change. A surprising turn of events in the experiment led to a groundbreaking discovery. Turn over a new leaf. To start to behave in a better way. After repeated experimental failures, the team turned over a new leaf and adopted stricter protocols. Turn over a new leaf. To start behaving better. The organization turned over a new leaf ethically. Turn over a new leaf, idiom. To start to behave in a better way. After several failed experiments, the researcher turned over a new leaf and meticulously documented every step. Turn your back on. To reject or abandon. Abandoning peer review would mean turning your back on quality control. Turn your back on STH, verb. To decide to stop having contact with someone or something, or to refuse to help someone. The scientist turned her back on the outdated theory in favor of more rigorous research methods. Turn your nose up at STH. To reject something as inferior. Some investors turned their nose up at the proposal. Turn your nose up at STH, idiom. To not accept something because you do not think it is good enough for you. The chemist turned her nose up at the low-quality reagents provided by the supplier. Turnover, employees, noun. The rate at which workers leave an organization and new workers join it. High turnover among lab assistants slowed the progress of ongoing research projects. Twist, change meaning, a verb. To change the meaning of something so that it fits what you want it to mean. The controversial article twisted the findings of the study to suit a political agenda. Twist, turn your body, verb. To turn part of your body to face a different direction. The biologist twisted to get a better view of the microscope slide. Twist, turn, verb. To turn something in a circle using your hand. The engineer twisted the valve to release pressure from the container. Twisted, strange, adjective. Strange and slightly unpleasant or cruel. The researcher described a twisted anomaly in the dataset that defied explanation. Ultimately, emphasis, adverb. Used to emphasize the most important fact in a situation. Ultimately, accurate data collection determines the success of the experiment. Unaffected, adjective. Not changed by something. The control group remained unaffected by the experimental conditions. Unanimous, adjective. Agreed by everyone. The committee reached a unanimous decision on the publication of the research. Unanimously, adverb. With agreement from everyone. The new guidelines were approved unanimously by the scientific board. Unattainable, adjective. Not able to be achieved. Perpetual motion machines remain unattainable despite centuries of attempts. Unavoidably, adverb. In a way that could not be avoided or prevented. Errors were unavoidably introduced during the manual data entry process. Unbalanced, mentally ill, adjective. Slightly mentally ill. The study examined the behaviors of unbalanced subjects in controlled experiments. Unbalanced, not fair, adjective. False and not fair. The peer review was unbalanced, favoring certain research groups over others. Unbiased, adjective. Able to judge fairly because you are not influenced by your own opinions. The report was reviewed by an unbiased panel of experts. Unconditional, adjective. Done or given without any limits and without asking for anything for yourself. The lab provided unconditional access to the equipment for student researchers. Unconscious, not aware, adjective. An unconscious thought or feeling is one that you do not know you have. The unconscious bias in experiment design was later identified and corrected. Unconsciously, adverb. If you do something unconsciously, you do it without knowing that you are doing it. He unconsciously recorded extra data points that skewed the initial results. Undeniably, adverb. In a way that is almost certainly true. The results undeniably confirm the initial hypothesis. Under your breath. Quietly so others cannot hear. She muttered corrections under her breath during the review session. Under your breath, phrase. If you say something under your breath, you say it very quietly so that other people cannot hear it. The assistant muttered instructions under her breath while calibrating the instrument. Under your nose. Happening nearby without being noticed. The error occurred under their nose. Under your nose, idiom. If something bad happens under your nose, it happens close to you but you do not notice it. The contamination occurred under the researcher's nose despite careful protocols. Underdeveloped, adjective. Not developed enough. The prototype remained underdeveloped and required further testing. Underlying, adjective. An underlying reason or problem is the real reason or problem, although it is not obvious. The underlying cause of the data discrepancy was later identified as a calibration error. Undermine, verb. To make someone less confident or make something weaker. Poor experimental design can undermine the validity of the results. Understanding, agreement, noun. An informal agreement between two people. The two research groups reached an understanding to share data freely. Undertake to do st, verb. To promise to do something. The team undertook to conduct long-term monitoring of the habitat. Undertaking, noun. A difficult or important piece of work, especially one that takes a long time. The field survey was a challenging undertaking requiring months of preparation. Underway, happening, adjective. If something is underway, it is happening. The new study on climate change is already underway. Undesirable, adjective. Something that is undesirable is not wanted because it is bad or unpleasant. Contamination of samples is undesirable and must be avoided. Undeveloped, adjective. Undeveloped land has no buildings on it and is not used for anything. The undeveloped site provided a pristine area for ecological research. Undoubted, adjective. Used to emphasize that something is true. She is an undoubted authority in molecular biology. Undue, adjective. More than is necessary. The procedure required undue attention to minor details. Unethical, adjective. Morally bad. Falsifying data is considered unethical in scientific research. Uneven, adjective. Not level, smooth, or in equal amounts. The uneven distribution of samples affected the statistical analysis. Uneventful, adjective. Without problems and without anything exciting happening. The experiment was uneventful, proceeding exactly as predicted. Unfavorable, criticizing, adjective. Negative and showing that you do not like something. The journal published an unfavorable review of the study's methodology. Unfavorable, not good, adjective. Not good and likely to cause problems. Weather conditions were unfavorable for the fieldwork. Unfold, develop, the verb. If a situation or story unfolds, it develops or becomes known. The sequence of reactions unfolded gradually over several hours. Unimaginable, adjective. Something that is unimaginable is difficult to imagine because it is so bad, good, big, etc. The scale of the universe is truly unimaginable, even for experienced astronomers. Uninhabited, adjective. If a place is uninhabited, no one lives there. The researchers studied wildlife on an uninhabited island in the Pacific. Unlike, not typical, adjective. Not typical of someone or something. Unlike most bacteria, this strain thrives in extreme temperatures. Unlikely, not true, adjective. Difficult to believe and probably not true. It is unlikely that the experiment will yield identical results under different conditions. Unload, remove, verb. To remove things from a vehicle. The team unloaded the laboratory equipment from the truck for the field experiment. Unprecedented, adjective. Never having happened before. The scale of the oil spill caused unprecedented environmental damage. Unrest, noun. When a lot of people are angry about something and are likely to become violent. Political unrest disrupted scientific conferences in the region. Unscrupulous, adjective. Behaving in a way that is dishonest or unfair in order to get what you want. The unscrupulous researcher falsified data to win a grant. Unsure of yourself, adjective. Without confidence. New interns often feel unsure of themselves when presenting to senior scientists. Unsustainable, harmful to the environment, adjective. Causing damage to the environment by using more of something than can be replaced naturally. Deforestation at the current rate is environmentally unsustainable. Unsustainable, not able to continue, adjective. Something that is unsustainable cannot continue at the same rate. Funding at the current level is unsustainable for long-term research projects. Unusually for ISB, adverb. In a way that is not usual for someone. Unusually for the professor, she arrived late to the seminar. Unwind, make straight, verb. If you unwind something, or if something unwinds, it stops being curled round or twisted round something else and is made straight. He carefully unwound the wires to prevent damage to the delicate instruments. Unwise, adjective. Stupid and likely to cause problems. It would be unwise to ignore safety protocols in the laboratory. Uphill, top of hill, adverb. Towards the top of a hill. The climbers moved steadily uphill to reach the weather station. Uphold, agree, verb. To agree with a decision, especially a legal one, and say it was correct. The court upheld the university's decision to retract the flawed publication. Uphold, support, verb. To support a decision, principle, or law. The organization upholds rigorous ethical standards in research. Upkeep, noun. The process of keeping something in good condition, or of keeping a person or animal healthy. Regular upkeep of lab equipment ensures accurate experimental results. Upwards of STH, adverb. More than a particular amount. The survey involved upwards of 10,000 participants across multiple countries. Urge, advise, verb. To strongly advise an action. Health authorities urged citizens to vaccinate against the outbreak. Urge, noun. A strong wish or need. Scientists felt a strong urge to explore the newly discovered cave system. Urge SB on, verb. To encourage someone to do or achieve something. Mentors urge the students on to complete their experiments with precision. Use, person, verb. To treat someone badly in order to get what you want. Exploiting junior staff for personal gain is unethical. Useless, person, adjective. Having no skill in an activity. The trainee was considered useless at calibrating the instruments initially. Utter, adjective. Used to emphasize something. The experiment was an utter failure due to contamination. Utter, verb. To say something. The scientist uttered a warning about the risks of misinterpreting the data. Vaccinate, verb. To give someone a vaccine to stop them from getting a disease. Doctors vaccinated the entire population against the virus. Vaccination, noun. An injection that protects you against a disease. The school conducted a vaccination campaign for all students. Vaccine, noun. A substance that is given to people to stop them from getting a particular disease. The development of a new vaccine reduced the incidence of the disease.